York City as the NBA playoffs are underway. One of the most interesting matchups of the first round, the Pistons and the Knicks, as the NBA playoffs are presented by Google. The first round presented by ESPN Bet Sportsbook. It all started in Indianapolis earlier today, and the Pacers on their home floor with an impressive victory of the Milwaukee Bucks to take the first game of that best-of-7 series. And we have game one of this one between the Pistons and the Knicks. It's playoff time, the best time of the year, along with Richard Jefferson and Doris Burke. Mike Breen on hand, Lisa Salter's with us as well. What a matchup. You've got the Knicks, their best record in 12 years. And then you have the Pistons, their best record in 9 years. And two of the very best point guards in basketball, including Jalen Brunson for the Knicks.
Great individual run for him last year, north of 32 points. He's got experience. And Richard, the guy opposite him, Cade Cunningham, playing in his first playoff game.
Yes, no, it is impressive to watch Cade Cunningham, watching all of the growth that he has had. To me, when I watch this young man, I am reminded consistently of how hard he works. Every day he has a reminder that says best player in the world. That's what he works for. And let me tell you, the best players in the world, they play well at Madison Square Garden.
Well, the Knicks finished with the third best record in the Eastern Conference at 51-31. The Pistons with the sixth best record in the Eastern Conference at 44-38. Obviously, Cunningham, Thompson, and Duren, the terrific young talent for the Pistons, but this year they had some veteran help. Tim Hardaway Jr. and Tobias Harris, and of course, their new coach, J.B. Bickerstaff. Of course, Jalen Brunson leads the way for the Knicks. This starting five, one of the best in basketball. They played more minutes together than any other starting five. As the Knicks, as we mentioned, had the fifth best record in the NBA. So Cade Cunningham, the playoff debut. What is just going through this kid's mind right now?
Well, it's just so many emotions. This is what you dreamed of. This is the moment. And then to get it after all the years, all the struggle, your first postseason game is in Madison Square Garden against the Knicks. You can't dream of a bigger environment.
J.B. Bickerstaff said a meeting here on December 7th was a turning point for his team. They actually held control of the game throughout and started to believe, hey, we can compete with the best.
Well, this crowd is certainly fired up as the opening tip deflected out of bounds. And it's going to be Pistons ball. Pistons were a good road team this year, 22-19. They won more games this year than the two previous seasons combined.
That wasn't hard to do, Mike. was not hard to do.
Last year's disaster, 14-68. Tim Hardaway, former Knicks draft pick, first shot of this series off the mark. Karl-Anthony Towns playing in his first playoff game as a member of the Knicks, as is Mikal Bridges, the two big new additions that Leon Rose brought over for the Knicks. And interesting matchups. Ausar Thompson guarding Jalen Brunson. Thompson, one of the elite young defensive players in the game. Brunson drives, can't get it. Tobias Harris the rebound.
The biggest change, though, initially, Tobias Harris checking Karl-Anthony Towns, not a big.
The other big matchup is that one. Cade Cunningham, OG Anunoby. There'll be a lot of switching. Anunoby, one of the premier defenders in basketball. Thompson gets inside, he's fouled. Hart lost his balance in an inadvertent trip, and we'll have our first free throws.
Well, and that's what they want to do, J.B. Bickerstaff, when we talked to him before the game. After Cade gets off the ball, because he knows they're going to get pressure, they have to have people cut and then space out on that second side, and that's what you saw from Thompson. Just that cut off that double team from Cade.
Ausar Thompson so improved from his rookie year last year. This is just his second year. He's only 22 years old. The first year was shortened by a blood clot, so Thompson missed the end of last season, the early start of this season. But boy, he has made up for lost time, Doris.
He is a superb athlete, as elite as there is in that aspect in the game, along with his brother, Amen Thompson. But his effectiveness is going to be on slashing or cutting, because they're going to give him a lot of looks from jump shooting range.
The Thompson twins are just so gifted defensively as he goes 1 of 2 from the line. Josh Hart, Durant went for the steal. Hart gets inside and banks it home. Nope, they wave it off. They said the foul came before the gather, so the Knicks will take it side out.
Well, even then, you got to be careful. You can't go for that steal if you're Durant, because if you don't get it, you give Hart an open lane to the basket, and that's where you get your first foul. So part of being a young player in this moment is to be disciplined. Don't go for steals. Don't try and do too much.
Again, interesting some of the cross matches here. Duren on Hart. Brunson goes against Thompson. Brunson played very well in the 3 games. Misses that one. Hart the rebound. Hart back out. Brunson wide open. Corner 3. Here's Cunningham. Thompson, by the way, this year also averaged 10 points per game. Hart away to Cunningham. Hart now on the switch. Thompson looking to post up Brunson, trying to muscle him away. Nice spin move, and Thompson lays it up and in.
Opportunistic flash across the post on a good size matchup for him, and you see the speed with which he spins. Man, that quickness is unbelievable.
Boy, a lot of contact early on, and that's the way the Pistons play. They are one of the most physical teams in the NBA, and their defense is what has them in this position. Anunoby gets inside, throws up a wild shot, gets thrown down. Cunningham throws it ahead. Hardaway fakes the 3. Bridges pokes it out of bounds and forces the turnover. Well, we say this every year. It seems like the NBA gets more, and there's a foul on Thompson. More physical come playoff time. You experienced that throughout your long career. But again, in a series like this, it's going to be very important how it's called, because that's the Pistons' strength, being able to play physical basketball.
Well, it works out both ways, because you want physicality, because you want OG to be aggressive against Cade Cunningham. But on the other side, the Detroit Pistons, collectively, that's how they play defense. So I think an aggressive defense actually works for both teams' favor.
Second half of the season, Pistons, one of the best defenses in the NBA. Brunson to Hart. Hart shoots over Duren. Can't get it to fall. Thompson the rebound.
Has Karl Anthony Towns touched the basketball for the Knicks yet?
Offensive foul. Jalen Brunson steps in and draw the charge. He was 3rd in the NBA in charges drawn this year.
And this is where we talk about discipline. If you're Thompson, you got 1 foul. You got to know that Brunson is one of the best in the league at taking charges. You remind him of a Kyle Lowry, of a Chauncey Billups. These guys know how to step in front of those wing players.
So he sits down with 2 fouls while they put defense on the bench. They bring in offense. Malik Beasley, who was one of the elite 6 men in the NBA.
Mikey's made 319 threes and provides critical floor spacing for Cunningham. So can he make shots and open up the floor?
And he torched the Knicks in the 4 games between the 2. Pistons won 3 of the 4, including 2 wins here at the Garden. Anunoby, ball fake, 3-pointer's good. Boy, this crowd is loud early.
Doris, that's what giving the ball to Karl Anthony Towns does. It makes them have to collapse, and then they can kick out for open shots.
Bridges the rebound off the Hardaway miss. Brunson back to Anunoby, goes at Cunningham, lost the handle momentarily, gets it back, pull-up jumper. Anunoby's second half of the season has turned to an offensive machine for the Knicks. Timeout Pistons in the first standing ovation of the night.
ESPN Bet is the official sportsbook of ESPN. Get in on trending parlays, daily profit boost, and exclusive talent markets all season long. New customers can bet $10 to get $100 in bonus bets and 30 days of ESPN Plus. Scan the QR code to download the app today.
Coverage begins Sunday. 3-game ones. Devils Hurricanes on ESPN at 3 Eastern. Senators Maple Leafs ESPN 2 at 7. And back on ESPN, the Golden Knights host the Wild at 10. 3-game coverage begins with The Point at 2 Eastern on ESPN 2. NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. What a marvelous time to be a sports fan, as Duren has it. Duren has had an excellent season. Bridges now on Cunningham, makes the spin. They're just trying to stay with him. Cunningham so strong, gets inside, shoots over him, comes up short. Hart tracks down the rebound, throws it ahead to Bridges for the layup. Now that's what Josh Hart does for the Knicks. They're one of the slowest teams in the NBA, but when he gets the defensive rebound, he likes to push. And Hart just picked up his second foul.
It's big, Mike. Prior play, they make a clean switch in the perimeter, which means Cade is going to try to bully ball Mikal, who was as physical as we've seen him. And then this is what happens. You're playing off misses. Mikal makes the defensive play and rim runs. That is beautifully done.
Now Anunoby back on Cunningham. Here's Beasley. Beasley inside the arc. Goes high, drops off, won't go. Hart, another rebound. Drives right at Tobias Harris. Knocked out of his hands, still Nick Ball.
We've already seen the Knicks get out in transition and get an early bucket. Some of that is the cross match. Sometimes Detroit has to match up a little bit quicker to figure out who they are guarding.
Beasley now, Brunson. Ball deflected out of Hart's hands. And it's going to be Pistons ball. Good defense there from Detroit. Pistons were the 10th rated defense in the NBA, and a big improvement over that since the first of the year. J.B. Bickerstaff has done just a superb job. One of the leading candidates for Coach of the Year. Harris fakes. Harris drives, goes in. Blocked from behind by Towns. Rejected out of bounds. 3.7 left on the shot clock.
Those are the plays that the Detroit Pistons have to make, and on the other side, the Knicks have to make these defensive plays. Coming off of a hedge or a double team on Cade, you got to either knock that down, and if you're the Knicks, you got to make those stops.
Landry Shamet comes in. Hart with the 2 fouls sits down. He tried to signal to Tom Thibodeau, let me stay in. Thibodeau not taking a chance. Beasley, catch, fire. Can't hit the 3. Hardaway, the offensive rebound. Beasley tries again. That one's good. Only Anthony Edwards hit more three-pointers this season in the NBA than Malik Beasley. And he's going to be one of the candidates for Sixth Man of the Year. Peyton Pritchard of Boston. Bridges fires away. And an offensive foul called on Duran. Interesting, we're seeing some close calls off the ball, yet they're letting play with those who have the ball.
Yeah, I think the grab of the jersey and toss. I don't know if anybody has told Duran, but he's pretty strong, so they're going to catch up on those things.
So he picks up his second, but they've got a heck of a backup center, Doris and Isaiah Stewart.
And the Knick crowd knows it. Isaiah is one of the most physical defenders in the league. There are a lot of people who will call him borderline, how shall I say it, Richard Jefferson? What would an NBA player say about?
He's an agitator.
Okay, yeah, I like it.
And if you're wondering, his nickname is Beef Stew.
Towns steps back. Karl Anthony Towns hoists one up. That won't go. Shamet trying to get it. Hardaway does an excellent job tipping it away from him. That was Towns' first shot. Cunningham and Anunoby. Anunoby all over him. Pass inside to Harris. Harris jump shot is good. Tobias Harris' return to Detroit has been quite the successful one.
And that's what they have to clean up. They have to get that pass and they have to score, make plays out of it. This won't be a steady diet of Cade just dominating unless his teammates can make those plays.
Brunson banks at home. Knicks back up 4. Anunoby with the steal. One man to beat inside. Stripped and knocked out of bounds. All right, Ryan, thank you. And welcome everyone to New York City. Madison Square Garden off to a feisty physical start. Knicks lead the Pistons 12-8. A whistle and a foul. And it's going to go against Beasley. That's going to be his first. For those just tuning in, Knicks with the 3rd seed in the East, the Pistons the 6th seed. For the Knicks, their first or best record they've had in 12 years, and the Pistons their best record in 9 years. And they're back in the playoffs for the first time in 6 years. Bridges knocks it down. Mikal Bridges with 6 early points.
And Mike, that is his patented shot. Of all the jump shots he takes, the vast majority are fadeaways. It gets him a lot of separation and clear vision on the rim.
Cunningham, good help from Shamet. Beasley finds Harris. Harris wide open in the corner, nails the 3. And the Pistons now 2 of 5 from three-point range. When they beat the Knicks in the 3 out of the 4 meetings, it was those corner threes that absolutely pulverized the Knicks. As Brunson trying to get away from Beasley. Stewart with the foul. And Brunson does a good job drawing the contact.
And look, foul trouble is going to be a situation for both teams, but this is what we talked about. Swing, swing. Cade sees two, gets off the ball. The Detroit Pistons team, they are a team. They don't have two all-stars, two all-NBA players. They do it collectively off of Cade's playmaking.
So Brunson here in the MVP chance. You know, as we mentioned, the Knicks with the 5th best record in the NBA, 3rd best record in the East, but they were just 1-11 against the 4 teams that had a better record against them in the league. 0-8 against Cleveland and Boston. So even though it's the best mark they've had in a dozen years, a lot of the fans have angst coming into this series.
Feels a little bit of uncertainty with Knicks fans. I think you have to remember that Mitchell Robinson missed a significant portion of time. Then Jalen Brunson misses a significant portion of time. Like, yes, you can put some stock in that because both of those teams have proven to be a cut above the rest of the East. But I'm anxious to watch this postseason unfold. Mitchell Robinson is a rim protector, a guy who can switch, and an elite offensive rebounder. At his best, he changes this team.
Dennis Schroeder, an in-season pickup, gives it inside to Stewart. Stewart misses it. Robinson deflects it out. Last touch by Schroeder. Mitchell Robinson coming off the bench here in the first. Meanwhile, you have the Pistons fans. They're just so ecstatic. It's only the 3rd playoff appearance in the last 16 years. They haven't won a playoff game since 2008 as Brunson misses that. And this has been such a wonderful season to watch the next step this team taking. Cunningham took a hit, gets knocked down, and still banks it home.
Forget about guard. That is a positional size and a guy who's bruising from that position.
Anunoby can't get it. Mitchell Robinson can. One of the best offensive rebounders in basketball. And a delay of game warning call on the Knicks. Towns getting his first rest.
Well, again, Cade Cunningham in transition. This is why they started OG on him. He's got the strength and the physicality to go through Bridges. Now, Bridges got those long arms. He can help with deflections, but as far as strength, look, even though Cade gets knocked off, he still has the strength to go through and finish.
That's 6'6", 220 pounds of a guy who wants to get downhill consistently and has the skill and handle to do it.
I think the 220 might have been his rookie numbers. I
Yeah.
think he might be a little bit stronger than that right now.
But you make the point. Something the Knicks are doing, and it's a different look from the regular season. OG's had him from the outset. They're also blitzing more against him than they typically do.
Cunningham gets inside, misses, but Stewart right there. Robinson made him alter his shot. Isaiah Stewart comes up wincing a little bit and a slight limp. He goes up the floor. And the Pistons within 3. Bridges being chased by Hardaway. Anunoby, corner 3. Schroeder has been a huge addition, being a backup point guard. Jaden Ivey got hurt earlier this season and out for the rest of the season. Ball deflected out. Last touch by Anunoby. Or are they going to call a foul on Anunoby? Yep. So he picks up his first. Well, we expected a chippy, feisty series, and we've played now a little over 8 minutes. We have exactly that.
Well, you got multiple players in foul trouble. You have Thompson. You have Josh Hart, and it's only going to be like that. As they get more familiar with each other over the series, that's when it starts to get even more chippy.
Knicks got caught napping there, and Hardaway gets an easy bucket, and the Pistons within 1. Schroeder, a good solid defender. Brunson. Beasley somehow got it, but threw it away. Back out to Bridges. Bridges from the right side. That three-pointer misses. Anunoby the rebound. Landry Shamet knocked away and stolen by Hardaway. Hardaway ahead of the pack. And Tim Hardaway's had a huge impact with deflections and some good defense. And Detroit back up by 1. Bridges pulls up that mid-range game lethal.
His two-point jump shooting all year has been so sound.
Cunningham misfires on that. By the way, I want to tell our viewers, gymnastics on ESPN2, and we're going over to ESPN Central Park on a Saturday evening.
Extra. Pistons rising star Cade Cunningham is making his playoff debut tonight after being the #1 overall pick in the 2021 NBA draft. Cunningham is the first Piston to average 25, 5, and 5 in a season since Grant Hill did that 25 years ago, about getting his first taste of the postseason on the biggest stage in basketball. Cunningham said he was excited for tonight, a little nervous, but definitely ready to be out here. Now in his 4th season, he said the NBA has humbled him. He thought it was going to be easy coming out of college because he thought he was that good. But the last 4 years have shown him it's not that easy and that it takes so much more than just talent to win in this league. Cunningham has said that his goal is to be not just a great player, but the best player in the world. A reminder that he has set up to pop up on his phone every day at 10 a.m. Those 5 words, best player in the world. He said it's his personal mantra to remind himself of what he's working towards. Mike?
He's a special talent, Lisa. All-star this year. He's going to be named All-NBA, at least he should. Only 23 years old, and his leadership at his young age with this team is off the charts. You can't speed him up, says Tom Thibodeau. Took his time there, couldn't finish. Robinson tipped it, Brunson grabbed it. Nice change of direction for Brunson, gets inside. Ball knocked loose out of bounds. Pistons ball. Tom Thibodeau very upset. He is a couple of times felt Brunson got hit.
Oh, we know Jalen wants to get downhill, inside out dribble, then he seeks the body. So I actually like the no call because he actually veers into Schroeder. The non-whistle is something that I think is appropriate in that instance.
Speaking of impressive young players, Ron Holland checks in for the first time. Holland doesn't have big numbers, but he's going to be a good player. They love this kid. The 5th pick in the draft last summer. McBride on Beasley. Harris, couple of jab steps. Tobias Harris spins and scores. Harris played against the Knicks in the 1st round last year, but it was with the Sixers. Actually had a huge game here in a Game 5 victory for Philadelphia last year. Beasley fights over the screen. Anunoby still gets inside and bangs it home.
This was massive to me. I mean, this guy had a stretch of 10 straight 20-point games. Went north of 25 for a stretch. Like, OG can't lose his aggressiveness just because Brunson's back on the floor.
Schroeder tied up. Trying to bounce it off one of the Knicks. Somehow finds its way to Tobias Harris. Pulls up, shoots over Robinson, and scores.
Those are 2 big shots. Again, no Cade Cunningham. So who are you going to get the offense from? Who are you going to get the defense from? Just making sure that they're in the right spots.
Anunoby, corner 3 is good. His offensive growth has been enormous for the Knicks because he's become very versatile, Doris.
Mike, he is 2nd in the league in corner 3s. With that body, you love to see him operate in the paint. Aggressive downhill in that stretch I was talking about.
Pistons lead cut to 1. Holland tries his 3-pointer. That comes up short. McBride the rebound. Brunson pulls up. That one in and out. Schroeder playing for his 3rd team this season. Started here in New York and Brooklyn. Playing for the Nets as he misses that one badly. Holland, there's the hustle from Holland. Took it away from Shabbat. This kid is absolutely fearless. Schroeder then played for Golden State, and now here in Detroit, shot blocked but a foul. It appeared Robinson hit it before it hit the backboard, so it's going to be just 2 free throws for Dennis Schroeder.
But you mentioned, Mike, Schroeder being a huge pickup for this Detroit team. That was one of the pickups that said, oh, they're really going for something special this year. Now you have Cade Cunningham out, and then you have Schroeder running this team, getting everyone involved.
He's played 28 games this year for the Pistons, averaged almost 11 points, over 5 assists, playing about 25 minutes. He averaged double figures for all 3 teams that he's played this year. That's only happened a couple of times in NBA history for 1 year. As he continues to bounce around the league. First free throw good. No, don't miss a playoff moment with the NBA app. Download the app today for the latest scores, highlights, and behind-the-scenes access to all the drama. It was a magnificent weather day in Central Park. Temperatures got up to 83 degrees today. But now time to be inside. Temperature's pretty high here inside the Garden right now. Holland and Brunson grabbing at each other. Schroeder misses the free throw. Knicks will hold it for the final shot. Pistons do not have a foul to give. Harris now on Brunson. Anunoby's got Schroeder on him, has the height advantage, steps back, knocks down another at the buzzer. OG Anunoby with a huge first quarter with 12 points. Meanwhile, Cade Cunningham was quiet in that first quarter, but his teammates picked up the slack. The offensive growth of OG Anunoby continues here at the Garden. We're all even at 27 after one.
By Haagen-Dazs. Tobias, a slow start for some of your teammates, but 9 points in that first quarter for you. How have you been able to hold it down?
Just playing aggressive, taking what the defense gives from us. Obviously, we know this is our first playoff game here, so it takes some time for these guys to get acclimated to the environment, but we fall back. Got to keep them off the offensive glass and limit their threes and paint touches.
Yeah, as one of the vets on this team, I know you told your guys what to expect, what this stage was going to be like. How do you think they've responded so far?
I think we've done great. We're staying composed. We're sharp. We're ready. This group is hungry. It's time to go get it. That's it.
All right, thanks, Tobias. Mike.
All right, Lise. Harris led the team in plus-minus during the regular season. Just a terrific veteran presence and voice. Karl Anthony Towns. And a whistle. Defensive 3 seconds, so one shot technical.
Again, you look at Detroit moving the ball, a little misdirection on the top. You give them the option for Tobias Harris, or you have Tim Hardaway Jr. coming around. And when he gets his feet set, he is an outstanding shooter.
Speaking of outstanding shooters, Towns knocks that one down. The one shot technical. Towns had a spectacular offensive season, averaged over 24 points, almost 13 rebounds a game, which was second in the NBA. He had the Knicks' best plus-minus during the regular season, and that was his first point. And we're here in the second quarter. Pass inside, Shamet cuts, beautiful pass from Towns, his second assist. Schroeder, Duren, Harris, Hardaway, and Holland out there for Detroit. Duren picked up those 2 quick fouls. Hart fights through a screen. 7 on the 24. Schroeder gets inside, cut off. Harris is going to have to put it up. And a reach-in foul on Josh Hart. That's his 3rd personal. He's looking over the bench. Please don't take me out, he's saying to Tom Thibodeau.
The shot clock is dwindling, and Tobias knows he's got to make a play. He's using that left hand. It's an obvious foul. Hands in the cookie jar.
And Hart is, he's really in many ways the catalyst for this team. He does so many different things to impact winning, at a career year. And one stat that's not surprising, #1 in the NBA in loose balls recovered. As Harris hits the first. Tonight's national TV schedule brought to you by Meta AI. ABC Sunday, Memphis and Oklahoma City, Game 1. Orlando at Boston will be there for Game 1. And TNT Sunday night. Miami, the 10th seed in the playoffs, face the Cavs, the Warriors, and the Rockets. So many unbelievable first-round matchups. As Harris hits a pair, and Harris off to an excellent start. He's got 11 of their 32 points.
And he's absorbing the Karl Anthony Towns matchup.
So Josh Hart stays in the game with the 3 fouls. Duren's out there with 2 personals. Asar Thompson has 2. Dangerous pass, and Schroeder comes out with a steal. Schroeder can be a crafty defensive player. Harris in the corner. Hardaway barely touches it, fires it away. Shamet tips it away, or Payne that is, ships it away from Duren. Payne tries another 3. Josh Hart battling, but Duren takes it away. Schroeder has always been a very confident player. Harris won't go, but Duren right there on the follow, his first points.
And there's just so many multiple action from one side to the next. Tobias Harris gets that pull-up. The big is still there that allows Duren the offensive opportunity.
Towns, Harris bellies up on him. Towns off the dribble, goes inside, and banks it home.
Plays a little bully ball, Mike. Towns has been elite as a driver this year. His blow-by percentage, his finish percentage.
Schroeder gets away. There's a big smile on his face, but he can't hit the shot. And Towns the rebound. Shamet off the bounce, goes inside. Oh, blocked by Duren, but a foul. Duren wants him to challenge it. Met him at the rim, but an aggressive move from Shamet. That's going to be 3 fouls on Duren if it stays the same.
And I love this for Shamet. He is a shooter. That's what he's known for. But if they're going to run you off the line, know your scouting report. And if you're going to go in that paint, go in that paint hard.
So J.B. Bickerstaff will challenge it. Huge call because it would put Duren on the bench with 3 personals.
Want the latest on playoff matchups? Just tell Siri. Show me today's basketball scores.
At Madison Square Garden, a packed house, including a lot of celebrities. Spike Lee's been a season ticket holder for about 50 years. Tracy Morgan, a little shy here today. Ben Stiller, another constant presence here at Knicks games. Susie Essman from Curve also has been a regular this season at Madison Square Garden. Johnny Mack's been coming here for decades as well, Long Island native. And the legendary Sting. And former Giant great Michael Strahan, obviously checking up on his emails and texts.
Maybe checking on that Denver score.
Denver, what a victory for the Nuggets in game 1. Meanwhile, the challenge was successful, so Duren, as soon as he made the block, before he was hitting the floor, he was twirling his finger. And the Pistons gained possession, so a big call, so Duren can stay in the game with the 2 fouls. That was a fantastic block from Duren. Anunoby gets out on Cunningham. Cunningham fires away, and Robinson, I believe, got a piece of it. Thompson saves it, throws it off McBride, but they say Thompson was out of bounds.
That, to me, is the difference with Mitchell Robinson on the floor, guarding that pick and roll.
Excuse me, Holland, my mistake. Thompson's been on the bench since the opening minutes, picked up 2 fouls in 2 minutes. Now he's coming back in. Towns turns, shoots, and gets it to go. His second field goal.
If you're Tobias Harris, I know you got bully balled before, but you can't, especially if he's inside of 3, still be aggressive. Don't give him almost a dare shot.
Cunningham can't get it to fall. Towns throws it ahead to McBride. Good transition defense from Detroit. Cunningham trying to guard Towns. Towns now puts it on the floor, drives, layup is good. Tough shot from Karl Anthony Towns. And he's come alive here in the second quarter.
He played a patient game to this point, right? I mean, typically you see him more of a focal point, but he's been waiting and seeking his opportunities here in the second.
Duren out to Holland. Holland called for travel. You know, Doris, what you said is interesting about Towns. This is what his teammates love about him. He's never hunting shots. He lets the game come to him often.
Well, if you're Detroit, you got to get Cade out of the matchup quicker than that. And Duren's help was not very good. And as you said, Richard, he's afraid to get, back dribbled into the post. Instead, you give up a great shot to a great jump shooter.
Sar Thompson back in. And another defensive 3 seconds, so another 1-shot technical. Towns will walk to the line. Towns an 83% free throw shooter. There's J.B. Bickerstaff, first year with these Pistons. What a fantastic job he has done after being relieved of his duties in Cleveland. And the players absolutely love him. Cade Cunningham was talking about, he says, and this is the expression the players use, he's a dog, and it's hard for a coach to be a dog.
I've known J.B. Bickerstaff since I was 21 years old, getting ready for the draft. We used to work me out, put me in a position to succeed. But when I tell you he is locked in, you look at the growth that Cleveland had continued to build. I am not surprised to see the success that the Detroit Pistons have had given J.B. Bickerstaff's history.
He has instilled belief in this team that won 14 games last year. Towns drives on Harris, lost it, gets it back, steps back 3, won't go. Rebound Cunningham. Cunningham an excellent rebounder as well at 6 per game. Finds Beasley. Payne harassing Beasley. Boy, a lot of contact there. Payne does a good job. And Robinson gets the rebound.
Double big for the New York Knicks. They haven't had much of an opportunity, but Tom Thibodeau giving them a look here.
Foul on the entry pass, and Cunningham will pick up his first foul. Cunningham just asking John Goebel about the reason for the call. Cunningham's poise for a 23-year-old who's the face of the franchise and one of the stars of the league is amazing.
No, it is. It's so impressive. And even watching this game here, watching how he handles everything, in my opinion, you got to get him to the post. He's having a little trouble getting himself involved up at the top of the key in the three-point line. When he gets to that post, and now if you double team out of the post, that's a different monster. So you even see room for growth in his playmaking, which is scary.
Brunson back in. Bridges returns. Robinson and Towns stay out together for the Knicks. Brunson driving on Beasley. Crossover, uses a screen, pull up, jump shot, short. Brunson just 2 for 8 to start. Cunningham back for Beasley, thought about a long three. Harris, no hesitation. And it rolls in, hung on the rim and drops through. Tobias Harris with another bucket. He's got 14 points to lead all scorers. Towns now getting aggressive. Here comes the double team. Kicks it back out. Brunson fakes. Bridges inside. And Anunoby. And gets it to go. Nope, they're going to wave it off. Offensive interference. Tom Thibodeau looking at the big screen. He wants to see a replay.
Well, we talk about 6'8" with big-time strength, but he's hanging on the rim,
Yep.
and is absolutely the right call.
Well, Anunoby probably trying to make sure nobody's underneath him, but that's still illegal with a ball above the cylinder like that. Cunningham gets inside. Bridges stays with him. Pull-up jumper's good. That's the strength.
You don't see it against OG, but you've seen it multiple times against Bridges. He actually looks to play bully ball when he gets Bridges on him. That's why I'm saying maybe take him into the post to give him a better opportunity to do that more often.
That's just his second field goal, and Duran just picked up his third foul. Brunson has a knack of drawing those fouls.
He does, Mike, and I like the double big for this reason. Mitchell is a terrific screener. This is really a poor foul by Duran. You already have two. You are young, but you've got to recognize the value, and that's the area he's got to improve, is the young fouls.
And again, Bickerstaff has the luxury of an excellent backup center, so Duran will be probably done for the rest of the half. Getting coached by Bickerstaff now on the sidelines before he goes to sit down. Bridges finding his dribble up top to Brunson. Brunson fakes. Brunson the floater in the paint. Won't go. Brunson has not been able to get his shot to go down. Yet the Knicks still lead by 1. Beasley wide open for 3, and that's Beasley with his third three-pointer.
And it was Thompson getting that rebound and pushing it. It's not just Cade that gets out and looks for the shooters. It's also Thompson, and he's elite in fast break points.
Beasley has had perhaps his best season as Anunoby launches a 3. Thompson to Harris. Harris, no hesitation. Towns grabs his 5th rebound. Bridges tied up. Brunson gets away from him. Can't get that to fall, but Mitchell Robinson with the tip. Well, if you're the Knicks, Jalen Brunson's 2 for 10 and you're tied, so you feel good about that. If you're the Pistons, Cunningham's 2 for 7 and you're tied, so you feel good about that. But your best player is getting help from other areas as Beasley does it again.
The one guy you have got to find right away on the floor. Beasley got loose in transition, then 2 go to the same player, and you give up another good look to him.
The Knicks' three-point defense has been erratic all season. Meanwhile, Anthony Towns again goes to the bucket.
If you're Detroit, you're okay with that bully ball. Where Karl Anthony Towns destroyed teams is from the three-point line when he's spacing you out. If he's bully balling you for 2 points, you accept it.
Cunningham drives on Anunoby. Shot in and out. Robinson and Towns getting some extended minutes together, and it's been effective. Thompson turned his back. Brunson gets inside. Can't get him, but Robinson with a one-handed slam. And that fires up the crowd as the Knicks regain the lead. Mitchell Robinson, 6 points, 5 rebounds off the bench. Beasley on the drive, steps back, puts it up. Shot won't go. Towns grabs it, throws it ahead to Anunoby. Drives on Cunningham. And a foul in the act of shooting as Cunningham picks up his second.
You are Thompson. You are a young player guarding an all-NBA player. Look at you standing straight up, looking around, and then all of a sudden, now everything breaks down and you give up an offensive rebound. You haven't played much in the first half because of fouls. You're guarding an all-NBA player. You have to be locked in and in a stance at all times.
Thompson, like a lot of the young Pistons, in his first playoff game. This is his second year. First free throw is good. J.B. Bickerstaff calls timeout with 3:41 remaining. Kind of what we expected between these two. Game 1, best of 7 from New York City. Pistons trailing the Knicks by 2. Richard.
When you talk about Jalen Brunson, this is what the Detroit Pistons game plan is. I'm not sure if that was a foul, but Thompson to his body. He's going to see multiple athletic bodies in front of him. Thompson does a good job of frustrating him. Right now, Brunson is 2 for 11, 7 points. But the real issue here is he had 15 games off before the final 4 games to get ready for the postseason. He knows there's a lot of game left. He loves these moments.
He turned his ankle in LA against the Lakers in early March and missed a month. Those 15 games, the Knicks went 9-6 without him. And that's where Anunoby and Bridges really came forward and played some great basketball. So those 4 games before sitting the finale got in a little bit of the rhythm. But as you know, Richard, it takes a while.
It takes a while, especially going into the postseason. You talk about missing a couple of games and then coming back in the regular season. That's one adjustment. But to only play 4 games after a month off before the most intense basketball of your life, it's going to take you a moment.
Let's check in with Lisa.
Yeah, Mike, Jalen was telling me before the game that the ankle feels a lot better. He's just happy to be back on the floor. When the injury initially happened, he said he thought it was a lot worse, maybe even broken, because he said he sprained his ankle plenty of times before, but never felt anything like that. But when the x-rays came back negative, showed that it was just a sprain, he felt a lot better. He knew it would take a while to get back, but knew that he would be back, and that was the most important thing. From there, he said it was just about doing the rehab. As far as conditioning, to what you guys were just talking about, Jalen said he thought it would take longer to get back in shape, but it hasn't been as hard as he thought it would be, and he says he feels great now.
Thank you, Lisa. Shot blocked by Anunoby. By the way, Brunson played those 4 games to make 65, which makes him eligible for All-NBA, which would be shocking if he doesn't make that for the 2nd consecutive year.
So you're saying he might have set out a couple more games to rest that ankle. That gives us an indication of where he is.
Harris drills the 3. Tobias Harris, 17 points here in the first half, and there's still 3.5 remaining.
They are doubling up the Knicks from 3-point territory. 8 makes to 4, and a couple of those have come off execution of out-of-bounds plays.
Harris, a New Yorker, born in Long Island, and enjoying his time back here at the Garden so far in game 1. Mitchell Robinson puts it on the floor. Anunoby fakes, drives, pass to Brunson. And a 24-second violation. Great rotation defensively from the Pistons.
So it's 2 bigs trying to set a little stagger screen, or excuse me, Beasley first, Stewart second, and Tobias Harris has been holding down the fort with 17. He and Beasley, the 2 veterans on the road in MSG, trying to get things steady for this young Pistons team.
Pistons 8 for 17 from 3. Beasley gets in, shot blocked by Bridges. Beasley gets it back, 5 on the 24. Beasley puts it on and is tripped up. And Bridges call for the personal. It's going to be his 3rd foul. Beasley having something to say to Bridges to Beasley. Those 2 have been chatting a lot. Crowd just saw the replay. As you see the numbers, how about with Cunningham only 4 points, Beasley and Harris have picked up the slack.
I'm not surprised that the 2 guys that have played in the postseason, including Dennis Schroeder, I think those pickups in the offseason was the difference for this Detroit Pistons team. Combine a few veterans, with some young, talented players, and this is what you get.
So 2 Knicks starters have 3 fouls, and 1 for the Pistons. Duran for the Pistons, Bridges and Hart. Ball poked away, Cunningham gets it back. We're going to have a held ball. We're pushing and shoving right now. Isaiah Stewart trying to get Towns away from his player. Towns with a smile and some applause. That's just good, hard basketball.
J.B. Bickerstaff says it's important for us to play with emotion, but not be out of control. He said when we're in the building, interactions are going to happen. The first interaction.
You saw that whole play started from Anunoby with his hands defensively. 7 on the 24 if Detroit regains possession. And the Knicks clearly get a new 24-second shot clock. Bridges off the bounce, pulls up, foul line jumper, won't go. Mitchell Robinson trying to save it, but the Pistons will get it.
Do you see what I mean about Mitchell Robinson changing things for the New York Knicks? He's their best screener, and it doesn't matter who's handling the basketball. There's elite rim protection. We've seen him switch out onto guards, contain. He allowed OG to get that block a couple of possessions ago. They're a different team with him.
They're going to have a... Anunoby takes it away from Beasley. As Brunson has it, Brunson goes at Cunningham, trying to draw some contact, won't go. Stewart the rebound. Here come the Pistons. Schroeder ahead, Beasley back to Schroeder. Harris is wide open underneath, shot blocked, but a foul. Robinson will pick up his first. And Doris, to your point, Robinson, in the 17 games he played, the Knicks had the 8th rated defense in the league and #1 in opponents' three-point percentage. Now again, it's a small sample size, but they were dead last when he didn't.
And Tom is giving the double big lineup an extended run here in the first half. And we asked him pregame about this, and he just kept saying, we haven't had enough of a sample size, we don't know.
Like a true coach.
Right.
So Richard, when you're defending on the perimeter and you know you have a shot blocker, you can be so much more aggressive out on the perimeter.
Oh, it's your dream as a player to have that behind you, because you know you need to pressure, and then you know you can show your hands and not foul because you have rim protection behind you.
Halftime presented by Hyundai coming up. The Nuggets overtime victory at home against the Clippers. Indiana winning earlier. Malika Stephen-A, Udonis, and Perk coming up with 1:53 remaining. Pistons up by 2. Knicks led by as many as 7. Pistons' largest lead was 4. McBride, Brunson, Anunoby, Towns, and Robinson. Schroeder crowds Brunson. Brunson trying to get going. Just 2 for 12 from the field. Gets inside, stops, pulls back, jumper, short again. And a loose ball foul is going to go against Stewart. 14th foul, so side out. Stewart's first.
You just see there's going to be a lot of bodies moving. Isaiah Stewart just grabs someone and chucks them. But that's the energy that he plays with. He plays with physicality, and he's also one of those players, when he's on your team, you always feel like someone has your back.
That's actually his second personal, so their centers have 5 fouls. Brunson, pull-up, jump shot, gets that one to go. After starting 2 for 13, he ties the game with that jumper. Anunoby trying to guard Cunningham. Cunningham trying to get on track, shooting the ball. Jumper there is good.
That might be his first make against OG, though, Mike. Feel like he's done his work, best work against Mikal.
Cunningham 3 for 10, as you see there. Does have 6 assists. 4th in the NBA in assists per game. That thing about Brunson and Cunningham, they're both been terrific playmakers in terms of being also the leading scorer. And Cunningham's called for a foul. That's going to be his 3rd.
So OG Anunoby has absorbed this assignment almost exclusively here. This is, in fact, Cade's first bucket, and he needed to get a little bit of separation, and he's more than capable. And then here's the foul. You know, standing upright. You made the point earlier. It's impossible to play defense standing upright.
If that play happens anywhere but either a sideline or baseline, they probably let that go. They've let that kind of contact go, but because it forced Anunoby out of bounds, Cunningham pleading his case to Billy Kennedy. Kennedy in his 27th season. This will be his 152nd playoff game. They become one of the top officials in the NBA for years now. And the #1 broadcasting referee in league history.
No doubt.
Give him that microphone and just let him work.
He used to referee my games in Phoenix, Arizona, back when I was in high school, me, Channing Frye. So I've known Billy Kennedy since I was, 16, 17 years old.
With my apologies to our own broadcaster, Steve Jabber. All tied at 52, final minute here in the second. Schroeder deflected by Robinson and stolen. Anunoby walks into a three-pointer, puts it in. OG Anunoby with 19 points. And he shot it quickly, so they get a 2-for-1. How about Mitchell Robinson, 14 minutes. I believe that's the most he's played in a half since he returned. Schroeder, McBride fighting over screen. And a jump ball. McBride tried to call a timeout. Now the officials discussing we might have a change. John Starks wants a change. And the Knicks are granted the timeout with 15.8 remaining. J.B. Bickerstaff is furious. Is it physical? You bet. Is it a little chippy? You got it. It's NBA playoff basketball here at the Garden.
What a half for Mitchell Robinson. He sniffs out what is trying to be an executed flare screen, gets the tip, and OG smartly executes the 2-for-1. I love the level of aggression. Now, to me, Richard, this was a bad call. Ball's going to come loose. The hand is on the ball before he, Miles McBride, tries to call the timeout. So that's a little frustrating.
J.B. Bickerstaff not happy. Robinson, by the way, he missed the first 58 games. Didn't play his first game until February 28th, coming back from 4.5 months of no basketball, had ankle surgery. Shot clock turned off. Brunson sneaks inside, and the offhand banks it home. 4.3 remaining. Knicks do not have a foul to give. Harris pulls up, three-pointer. Got it! Tobias Harris from downtown. 22 points for Harris here in the first half. And that's how the second quarter comes to an end. J.B. Bickerstaff coming out on the floor. Going to yell at Carl Lane. He's got to be careful. His assistant coach is trying to get him away. Bickerstaff actually led all NBA head coaches in technicals this year.
There's the dog in him, Mike.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
His players love that when he fights for them. Meanwhile, both teams fighting here in game one. We had 11 lead changes here in the first two quarters. Well, Tobias Harris, magnificent first half. 22 points, 7 of 10 from the field. This first half featured what we expected. Tough, physical playoff basketball. Pistons and the Knicks. 2 quarters complete here at Madison Square Garden. It's the Knicks with a 2-point lead.
NBA First Round, presented by ESPN Bet Sportsbook, is brought to you by United Airlines, where good leads the way, and Google, proud sponsor of the NBA.
About it. That's it, right there.
The Gilgosaurus.
Oh my God. Don't see that every day. Forever.
Duncan!
Run.
Welcome back to NBA Playoffs, presented by Google. The first round presented by ESPN Bet Sportsbook. They have a watch party. First time they've done that for Knicks games right next to Madison Square Garden. Meanwhile, J.B. Bickerstaff been watching his team. Had a lot to say in the first half.
We just got to settle ourselves in, all right? Just settles ourselves in. We've had opportunities and plays that are there for us. Let's just make those plays and take advantage of those opportunities.
Settle now.
All right? By yourself, Timmy. By yourself, Timmy. We've given up some offensive rebounds that have made it a little bit difficult on us. So let's make sure we take care of the boards, and then let's keep running, find our space, and be aggressive in transition. Hey, we're good, Blue. Let's make sure we take care of the basketball. Let's make sure we rebound the basketball, okay? The last 3:41, let's be great defensively, and that means finishing possessions as well.
Our first half stats brought to you by New Balance. Well, with Jalen Brunson shooting 4 for 15 and Cade Cunningham 3 for 10, others had to pick up the slack. Avoided Tobias Harris and OG Anunoby both do that, both with brilliant first halves here in game one. And hi again, everyone. You know, obviously you're not going to win a playoff series without your stars, but so often on roads to championships or playoff series wins, you need those role players to win a couple of games for you, Richard.
Oh, you're going to need the role players more often than you think. And when you look at Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley, 36 points combined for the Detroit Pistons. That's been a huge story of how they've been able to stay in this based off of how Cade has played.
Doris, what'd you like in that first half?
Well, the thought that pops out is something you just heard J.B. Bickerstaff talk about a couple of times in that Wired. He told us prior to the game, we are very tough to beat when we win the possession battle. So they rebounded evenly with the New York Knicks. What they didn't do was do a great job taking care of the basketball. 11 turnovers, 12 points off. 6 more turnovers than the Knicks, which resulted in 6 fewer shots. Those are the little margins that can decide the difference between winning and losing.
Let's check in with Lisa.
Yeah, Mike, I was asking J.B. Bickerstaff how he thinks his guys have settled in to this taste of the postseason. He says he thinks his guys have done really a good job, that they're in a dogfight. They expected that, but he believes that they're doing enough for them to be in this position to keep fighting. He said obviously the turnovers plagued them in that first half, but he said it wasn't because of the environment. It was more about spacing. I asked him if he needed more from Cade Cunningham. He says he's getting to his spot. He's missed some shots. We just need him to knock those down. Mike?
All right, Lisa. And of course, foul trouble is key. Cunningham and Duren each with 3 fouls first half for the Pistons. Bridges and Hart 3 fouls. Hart only played 8 minutes in that first half. And he's one of the key contributors for the Knicks. Anunoby, nice step back. Puts it up and gets the soft bounce. Everything going down for OG Anunoby.
That level of aggression is just going to make this team so much more diverse offensively.
He says it's all about opportunity. He saw the opportunity when Jalen Brunson was out for 15 games, and he's keeping it up. Cunningham, his three-pointer. Bridges may have gotten a piece of it. Duren gets the rebound. Back out Tim Hardaway. Way outside, and Hardaway nails another three.
And that's how you can get some of those possessions back. Yes, that was a block, but still, I'm not seeing Cade be as aggressive and searching out his shot the way he should. Now, he's a playmaker, but ultimately I think the Knicks defense is really affecting him.
Cade is really engaged with Billy Kennedy. Almost gave up an uncontested shot because he was talking too much on that non-whistle.
Meanwhile, Towns fouls Duren, so Duren will head to the free throw line as Towns picks up his first.
And look, this is coming off an offensive rebound. Gets a piece of it because it was the Bridges' hand. Duren gets the ball, and then Tim Hardaway Jr. That's when the Knicks, they played great defense. They just got to finish it off with a rebound.
So Duren, who's still only 21, this is his 3rd year in the league. His rookie year, he's the youngest player in the NBA, but he's shown terrific growth, averaged almost 12 points, 10 boards, over a block a game, 2nd in the NBA in field goal percentage. He's also an excellent screener. And in today's NBA, you need to have those. 1-point game, opening couple of minutes here in the 3rd quarter. Thompson just staring at Jalen Brunson. Brunson gets away from Thompson, tries another three-pointer. That one off the mark. Just grazes the rim. And here's Tobias Harris, leading scorer in this game. Anunoby guarding him. Hart right now is on Cunningham. Harris tied up, back up top. Cunningham fakes, drives, goes to the rim, blocked from behind by Hart. Well, we've seen some terrific defensive plays here in game one.
Josh Hart never going to give up on a play. He gives up the angle on the shot fake because he bit on it and closed too close. But how about that challenge?
Hardaway, a whistle and a foul. 2 free throws for Tim Hardaway. Towns will pick up his second.
We've seen so many out-of-bounds plays that have led to great opportunities for both teams. That's something that J.B. Bickerstaff is elite at, as so is Tom Thibodeau. Creating a shot opportunity off an inbounds for a specific player.
Well, they said that Hardaway was throwing a pass. It appeared that after the contact. Bridges now on Cunningham. Hardaway, quick move, gets inside, counted and a foul. This one goes, and a chance for a three-point play.
What it looks like is Detroit's offense is snappy right now, right? All that quick action happening. The cutoff, but you see, listen, Jalen Brunson's on my hip. I'm going to go right past him and attack the rim. Just feels quick.
So here you have Cade Cunningham, Sar Thompson, Duren, all playing in their first NBA playoff game. So maybe some nerves out there as they're trying to get acclimated. The 3 veterans they picked up, Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway, Malik Beasley, all in double figures. Trajan Langdon did a great job bringing these 3 veterans in. It's made all the difference. Towns against Harris. Tough fall away shot is good. Karl Anthony Towns now with 12. Thompson, what a spin, and banks it home.
Whoa.
Gorgeous move from Sar Thompson. That's his second field goal. He's only taken 2 shots. Towns off the bounce. Hart trying to hold on, deflected out. Still Nick Ball, 14 to shoot.
Snappy. How about this speed? I mean, to do this at that speed with a defender closing at you and still finish. Richard, you were pretty athletic as a player. That is special.
I didn't have that type of speed. I had upward athleticism, not that type of quickness. That is elite.
Speed from Thompson, strength from Anunoby, who's got 23. Pass goes inside. Thompson spins again, blocked from behind by Bridges. That's 6 block shots for the Knicks.
Again, he takes that one step, and that wasn't sped up, ladies and gentlemen. That was the full accurate speed that you just saw, that spin move.
7 on the 24. Duren. Towns. Played him well, but Duren even better. And Duren also has only taken 2 shots. They've both gone in. Pistons back up by 2. Towns goes at Tobias Harris, falling down, somehow passes it to Anunoby, puts up a 3. That won't go. Rebound, Cunningham. That was some direct pass on point. Cunningham goes coast to coast, and Tom Thibodeau calls timeout as the Pistons have equaled their largest lead. Cunningham now 8 points, 8 assists.
The Detroit Pistons get going out in transition. They're second in the league in fast break points, and it's because of defensive transition leading to offense just like that.
NBA First Round, presented by ESPN Bet Sportsbook, is brought to you by the all-new 2025 Lincoln Navigator.
Presented by Google here in New York City for the first round, presented by ESPN Bet Sportsbook. In attendance, Russell Wilson, Ciara, and their son, courtside at Madison Square Garden. Clyde styling and profiling is doing the game for the MSG Network tonight. The great Patrick Ewing, the Knicks' all-time leading scorer. Larry Johnson, known for his 4-point play here in this building. Latrell Sprewell had a lot of big playoff moments for the Knicks. And the great Marv Albert, the greatest basketball play-by-play voice in history.
I agree, Mike.
I disagree, Mike.
Mike, you know you're the best.
Now, Marv is #1 all-time, always will be. As Bridges drives, gets past Duren, gets inside, blocked by Duren, out of bounds, and it's Piston ball. Duren, terrific recognition on that play. That's his second block shot. Hart chasing Thompson. Cunningham gets away from Anunoby. Alley-oop to Duren. Perfect pass. And this is the largest lead of the game for the Pistons. Cunningham with his 9th assist.
That was the first time Cade Cunningham looked comfortable. Coming off in a pick and roll, having shot, having lob. That was the first time that, in my opinion, I can see Cade, okay, the game is slowing down. I'm in the pick and roll. Okay, I got multiple people, reject it, take an extra pause dribble and throw that pass up before it's even open. That's how you can throw a player open, and Duren's loving it.
Meanwhile, Thompson just picked up his third foul down the other end, so the Knicks inbound. Brunson drives on Thompson, stays with him beautifully, makes him take a tough shot and rattles in. Brunson now 16 points. Pistons still lead by 4. And Brunson knocks over Hardaway. Second foul on Brunson.
We've seen Jalen Brunson use elite footwork to get separation. You're going to need every bit of craft and shot making against a guy who's got the foot speed, the length, and the defensive instincts to stick with you. That's just tough shot making.
Last year, Brunson had 40 or more in 5 of the 13 playoff games, but he has struggled shooting here in game 1, here in 2025. Cunningham tied up. Pass inside to Thompson. Towns right there, blocked by Towns. Outlet to Brunson. Josh Hart gets inside and bangs it home. Karl Anthony Towns' defense leading to offense for the Knicks. Duren. Inside Harris. Harris looking to post up Bridges. Harris, a brilliant first half. Shot clock winding down. He's got to shoot it. Baseline turnaround. Short. Hart the rebound. Looks to push. Hart goes right at Hardaway. Finds Towns. Towns inside. Banker's good, and the game is tied. Timeout, Detroit.
To just 7 minutes in the first, so he gets the initial challenge. Then Karl Anthony Towns, excellent defensive play, but to me, Mike, you called him the catalyst for the New York Knicks. What he gives them is a tempo that's desperately needed. But again, you want to make tough twos for your opponent to take, because what does that do? You're playing off minutes, which means Josh can get downhill. As long as you run with him and get in his vision, he'll find you. And I don't know, we have Jurassic Park, we the North. What is that one, Richard?
Oh, that's the concrete jungle out there in New York, and they look like they're having a good time, Mike.
That's New York City overall, the concrete jungle.
Yes, but what should we call that, Mike?
We got to come up with something.
We'll get tweeted at very quickly.
That's the first year they've done this. A lot of teams have done it, and it's such a wonderful thing for the fans who don't have tickets to the game to all cheer together. This is the first thing, and it's just right next to the Garden. Cunningham on Anunoby. Stops, pulls up, short shot is good, and a foul. Terrific play from Cade Cunningham. Anunoby picks up his second.
And this is the first time that we've actually seen him kind of bully OG. I want you to set that screen. Don't slip out. Maybe you'll get a switch on Brunson. And here, that is as tough a defense as you can play. Obviously the foul, but Cade Cunningham looks like he's getting more comfortable with that physicality from OG.
Does he remind you of anyone, Richard?
Cade Cunningham, the more I watch him and that you can't speed up, it reminds me of kind of that late 90s Grant Hill. Grant Hill was able to create for others, score for himself. Maybe a little bit more athletic, but Cade Cunningham, in my opinion, is a little bit better shooter than Grant Hill at this age.
Growing up in Texas, his favorite player of all time, Dirk Nowitzki. Cunningham was a huge Mavericks fan. He remembers that 2011 title team, and Dirk was his guy when he was a kid. Towns only shot 1 3-pointer, shot a career high 42%. Stewart is called for the foul. Stewart with his third personal.
So they had stuck with the Tobias Harris matchup, but this young man is going to be much more physical than Tobias. Tobias, being the veteran, like, he'll just hit, but do it a little bit more discreetly. There is nothing discreet about the way Stewart imposes contact.
He's trying to not be discreet. He's trying to show you that's what he wants.
Beasley now on Brunson. Brunson, step back, pull up, jump shot is good. Brunson starting to find the range a bit. He's got 18. And the Knicks back within 1. Schroeder back in. Schroeder played 13 minutes in that first half. Anunoby trying to navigate some screens. Pass kicked.
That is so good, though. I mean, Ochi just refuses to be screened. He's down in a stance. You never catch that guy standing up on the defensive end.
No, that's the veteran in him. But how hard is Cade Cunningham having to work just to catch the ball, just to get them in their offense?
Oh, Anunoby got screened in the back by Stewart, went down. Hardaway's left open, and Hardaway with another three-pointer, his third three. And the Pistons back up by 4.
Ochi Anunoby asking Billy Kennedy, was that illegal screen? Because he's slow to come across here, Mike.
He's got Cunningham on him with 7 on the 24. Towns and Stewart one-on-one. Towns has to shoot, makes his drive, difficult shot, and nails it. Going left, shooting right. And Towns with 16. The agility of a 7-footer. Cunningham, crossover, and finish.
And that's what we've been waiting on, to see Karl Anthony Towns. How is he going to guard that pick and roll? He was late in that moment, and that's what gave Cade that downhill opportunity.
Where's your double big lineup that you played for an extended stretch?
And we've seen it time after time. When the Knicks have to guard against these perimeter players that can shoot threes, will Karl Anthony Towns, look, he's moving up as Cade is coming towards him. You're dead in the water there.
But the difference to me is, if Cat goes off, Mitchell Robinson comes out. At the point of attack screening, Mitchell Robinson much better than Karl Anthony Towns.
That's where he's made such a big impact since he's been back. Anunoby catches. Well defended by Cunningham. Cunningham, much improved defensive player as well this year. Anunoby trying to sneak it inside. Ball knocked out of bounds. Pistons ball. You can never tell by Anunoby's face whether his team is up 20 or down 20. So stoic out there. Doesn't get too high or too low. Goes for the steal there. Cunningham able to come away with it. His floater's up. That won't go. Robinson with his 6th rebound in just 14 minutes. Schroeder fights over the screen. Stewart rips the rebound. Great outlet pass, and Hardaway's going to have a clear path throw. No, he missed it. Ball came out. Let's see what Billy Kennedy's going to say. He blew the whistle. Hardaway's still down.
That was a foul. You could see it on his right arm. I don't know if the ball, it happened so fast, I don't know if the ball went in and popped out. Oh, I think that ball went in and popped out, but there was still a foul missed. Let's see. It happened so quick, but watch this right arm. Yeah, the ball goes in. No, it doesn't crush through the net, so it does go in, but there's a missed foul on that opportunity. You can see Josh Hart come in, hit his right arm.
You could watch every game for an entire NBA season for every team, and you might see that twice.
Oh, the referees are going to hate that one when they rewatch that one.
So it's considered offensive goaltending. Again, we saw one of those earlier, but you rarely see that when the ball is almost completely through the net. Since Hardaway was on the rim, it came back up, so it doesn't count. Knicks catch a break there. But you credit Hart for at least contesting it. Hardaway was well ahead of him. McBride. Duran alters that shot, and Beasley picks it up. Or Stewart, I should say, as Cunningham goes inside. Robinson greets him at the rim. Ball knocked loose. Picked up by Bridges. Brunson, coast to coast, can't get it. Robinson on the follow, but they're going to call a foul on the first shot. As Brunson, did he twist his ankle? It was the right ankle that had him out for 15 games. A slight limp. The follow dunk by Robinson negated by the foul call on Schroeder. He stepped on, that's the same foot. It's the right foot that stepped on Schroeder's foot there.
Sometimes, Mike, that's more of a scare, right? You feel that little tweak, and he steps on a player's foot. That just kind of that reaction right there. He steps on it. So it might be jammed. It might be jarred a little bit, but there's more of a panic in that moment than maybe an actual physical energy.
So Brunson just 7 of 19, has 18 points, 5 assists. Tomorrow's playoff schedule on ABC and TNT. ABC tomorrow afternoon, Grizzlies and Thunder and OKC 1 Eastern time, and then the Celtics host the Magic at 3:30. TNT Sunday night, the Heat and Cavs in Cleveland, and Golden State and Houston. Of course, Houston features Amen Thompson, Sarge Thompson's twin brother. Rusar was saying that after last year's 14-68 record, his brother was razzing him about the record all summer.
As he should.
That's what brothers do.
That's what as he should.
Knicks have hit all 10 of their free throws. Brunson now with 20. 2-point game, 2.5 to play third quarter. Beasley launches. That one won't go. Bridges the rebound.
But another smart play by Robinson. Switch out, recognizing the kind of shooter, and what a great contest.
Brunson one-on-one with Schroeder. Leans in, shot blocked by Schroeder. Brunson trying to force a great defensive play from Schroeder. Beasley drives inside and banks it home. Schroeder's fired up after that defensive play. He can be an absolute pest defensively. Brunson gets by him this time, keeps the dribble alive, finds Anunoby. Anunoby inside, blocked again, this time by Stewart. Stolen by Schroeder. Here comes Schroeder, corner to Beasley, puts it up, puts it in. Beasley from downtown, and a 7-point lead for the Pistons. Timeout, New York.
How about they're doing it when Cade Cunningham goes to the bench? Level of intensity has risen for the Detroit Pistons. I don't know if they're the bad boys, but they're playing really hard right now. Challenging shots, slapping and reaching, and then turning and getting in transition. Mr. Schroeder's played some big-time games, and Mr. Beasley has been on fire from three. Did he hit him with the shimmy?
He hit him with the shimmy, yes he did.
This week's playoff tracker brought to you by Pepsi. Day one of these NBA playoffs. Indiana winning at home. In the East, of course, the 2 other games will be tomorrow. And, of course, the first round, best of 7. Right now, Detroit, not been in the playoff party for 6 years. They have a 7-point lead. Beasley, once again, having an impressive game against the Knicks. We've got a foul, an offensive foul call. As we check in with Lisa.
Hey, Mike. Well, Malik Beasley was telling me that J.B. Bickerstaff is not exactly a big fan of the shimmy, but they've made a deal that Malik can do it and put a little extra sauce on it if the 3 that Malik made leads to the other team calling a timeout, like what just happened. If there's no timeout called, he can only shimmy quickly, get back on defense. If a timeout is called, he can go all out. Malik told me one of his goals for this playoff series to be able to hit at least 1 full shimmy, timeout included, in each game.
Thank you, Lisa. Meanwhile, Schroeder might be shimmying. Schroeder's had a huge impact here in this third quarter. Gets his first field goal. Brunson back up top to Hart. Brunson falls down again. And he's wincing. Josh Hart knocks down the 3, but Brunson's limping. 87-81, 6-point game. That 9-point lead that Detroit had moments ago, the largest by either team. Schroeder tries again. Schroeder hits again. Dennis Schroeder, huge play here in the third. He's a playoff veteran. This is his 69th playoff game. Detroit is his 9th team. Stewart's call for a foul. It's 4 on Stewart. Brunson continues to limp slightly. That's just a misstep.
Well, no, it's a lack of strength. You said he came back for the 65 games. He played in 4, but there's still a lack of strength. And then once you played a bunch of minutes, all of a sudden it gets a little bit more fatigued. So you don't have that strength in it. Even that explosion. Look, he didn't step. It's just a misstep, and you can see. Look, it cripples him.
Yeah, foot though. It hit Schroeder's foot. Bridges. Robinson hands it right back. Up top to Hart. Josh Hart gets past Harris, goes inside, stripped of the ball, out of bounds. Still ball, 8 to shoot.
If you're the Knicks right now, you want to get a stop and get back and finish this possession off and finish this quarter off.
Schroeder again harassing Brunson. It's inside, shot blocked, but a foul. And Schroeder not liking the call. So Brunson to the line.
I will always say this, players always feel a little bit better when they have the ball in their hands. And Brunson able to just navigate that. It's his footwork that gets him in a position to always either get fouled or get these easy buckets.
Well, Brunson from the line, 4 for 4, again 20 points. He has struggled from the field, just 7 of 20. Cunningham's going to come back in. And while he sat, the Pistons played extremely well. Having Schroeder, that mid-season acquisition for Schroeder is huge. Again, with no Jaden Ivey, have this type of veteran.
You have a secondary playmaker, and OG Anunoby going to replace Miles McBride.
There's Ivey. McBride sits down.
What I like is Cade Cunningham comes in for the final possession. So Tibbs, he counters that and brings OG, player versus player.
Brunson perfect from the free throw line. 7-point game. Shot clock turned off. Knicks already in the penalty. So no foul to give. Cunningham hasn't shot the ball well, but he's got 10 assists. Cunningham drives, goes right at Brunson. Back up top. Hardaway fakes. Hardaway drives. Can't get it to fall, but a whistle and a foul. And Hardaway takes another tumble. He'll shoot 2.
Guard-to-guard screen, but you bring Jalen Brunson into the action. And obviously, defense not necessarily a strong point. Jalen competes, but guard-to-guard screening action because you're trying to get him in it. And you also know that his foot isn't feeling 100%. Then the switch back to the other side of the floor, but that's good action late by Detroit.
Anunoby, his 3rd foul. Hardaway misses the first. Hardaway, Knicks drafted him way back in 2013. He had 2 stints with the Knicks. Parts of 3.5 years, played 254 games with them. Of course, he was part of the Mavericks' run to the finals. This is his 43rd career playoff game. Towns will come in for rebounding purposes. Robinson will sit down. 1.9 remaining. Towns maybe to throw the baseball pass the length of the floor to get off a decent shot. Pistons have missed 4 free throws, but 13 of 24 from 3, 54%. That one will go down. Towns going down the other end quickly, so they're going to look to try and throw it to him. Duran right on top of him. Josh Hart can move along the baseline. Looking, finds Anunoby. Anunoby gets it off in time. Shot is up, won't go, and the 3rd quarter comes to an end. Terrific quarter for the Pistons. Their first playoff game in 6 years. They've got an 8-point lead heading into the 4th quarter.
ESPN Bet Sportsbook. OG down 8. What gave you guys problems closing out that 3rd quarter?
Just getting back in transition, giving up open threes. You know, we got to get stops and just went out and play our game.
You have 23 points in the game so far, all while being tasked to defend Cade Cunningham. What do you have to do to him defensively in this 4th quarter to keep him from getting hot?
Just make it difficult for him. Make him shoot tough shots, limit his touches, and fly around and get rebounds.
Thank you for your time.
Well, the Knicks just had some great defense. They caused a 5-second violation on the inbounds pass to start the quarter. I can't ever remember seeing that to start a quarter. Towns, the runner, that's good. By the way, the Pistons this year, when they've led going into the 4th quarter, they're 38-6. When the Knicks have trailed going into the 4th, they're 6-24. But a good start, forced a turnover, then the Towns jumper. Cunningham to Duran. Duran gets inside. Now finds Thompson. And a shot clock violation. So a 5-second violation and a 24-second violation already.
Just inexperience. Inexperience. They got to be locked in, and you got to give credit to the Knicks. Doesn't matter if they're down. Josh Hart picks up full court. They're keeping that pressure on, waiting to see if the Detroit Pistons can answer.
Do you bring Tobias Harris back here shortly?
McBride, bumped by Thompson, brings it back out. Karl Anthony Towns was saying to Josh Hart, give me the ball. Fires up a three and knocks it down. His first three-pointer of the game, and the Knicks back within 3. Schroeder off the bounce, pulls back, baseline jumper, won't go. Duren the rebound. Hart trying to take it away. Duren dribbles out of problems. Cunningham double team, finds Duren. Duren inside, layup by Thompson and a foul. What a pass from Duren.
Boy, the level of intensity defensively by the Knicks turned up. Trying to make some plays with great ball pressure. Quick trap on the baseline. But you can't, you have to react well. So Hart's trying to make a play. Duren holds the ball, great ball security. Now you're in a tough spot. But watch, no panic. Just 2 on me. It's going to be an open person elsewhere. How about the find by Duren? You said it, Richard. There was some youth a couple of minutes ago. That possession, they respond.
Free throw is good to complete the three-point play. And a foul call on Thompson. That's going to be his 4th in just 16 minutes. McBride in the game right now. Jalen Brunson is out of the game, and he's not currently on the Knick bench. Not sure if it's a bathroom break or they're going to check out that ankle.
When we've seen this foul multiple times, yes, you're cutting off, but if your body's angled at all, you've got to cut him off completely, and we've seen it multiple times on both sides of the floor.
Cameron Payne turns it over, and it's going to lead to an easy bucket. Missed the bucket. Oh, so much for being easy. He blew the dunk. Hart lost it. What's going on here? Thompson gets past. That time, the layup goes down.
I've been there. I've done that. I've missed the dunk in the Garden. Now, was it the postseason? No. But you can see the nerves, Doris. You mentioned that.
You notice how we quickly qualified it was in the regular season game? Payne, nice bounce off the glass. Cameron Payne with his 2nd field goal. Cunningham and Payne called for a reach-in. It's going to be the 2nd team foul, 1st on Payne.
Well, this is the thing. You get in this spot, and you're just like, okay, this is easy, but then you short it. But again, the nerves show up. You get a couple early fouls. You miss some easy plays. But look, this is a young player that will show back up, gets the layup here. He made sure he just walked that one in that time.
Stewart back in for Duren. Cunningham. Double team, finds Stewart. Stewart knocked away from behind. Shot clock winding down. Beasley just gets it off in time. And Hart with a rebound. Anunoby to McBride. Corner 3. Way too strong. Thompson the rebound. Knicks 8 of 22 from three-point range. The Pistons 13 of 25. Schroeder scoots inside and gets the layup. Boy, Schroeder's given the Pistons 20 impactful minutes.
Mikey recognizes it was Karl Anthony Towns in front of him, and he could get by easily.
Payne, this time with the right hand, counted and a foul.
So Dennis Schroeder just understands Karl Anthony Towns does not have great feet laterally. So he's like, okay, the one guy standing in front of me, let's back you up, get to my spots. Karl, not great and not great effort.
No, it wasn't. Again, on the other end, there was a lack of coverage there. You see that Beasley was trying to force him down, but there was no help because Karl Anthony Towns is there. If there is help, they got to communicate. What I've seen so far is the Detroit Pistons are struggling with little bitty places, and the Knicks are taking advantage of it.
Jalen Brunson just emerged back on the bench and immediately reports back in. Stewart, meanwhile, picks up his 5th foul, and he sits down. Duren returns, and Cameron Payne, in his first year with the Knicks, played against them also in the first round of the playoffs last year, was with Philly. And completes the three-point play. Still plenty of time remaining. Pistons with a 5-point lead. Cunningham searching. Has Brunson on him. Anunoby goes to double team him. Strips him of the ball. Anunoby dives, knocked out of bounds. Still Piston ball.
But what do you notice about the shot clock with the level of intensity New York's playing? That thing is dwindling under 10, and it feels like they're in no position to get a good shot off.
Still 9 on the 24. Beasley gets free. Can't hit that one. Deflected out of bounds by Thompson. Beasley, who's 5 of 10 from three-point range now. Tobias Harris is going to come in, and Cunningham's going to get a rest for a few minutes. Harris had 22 points in the first half. Did not score in the second half. Only took one shot here in the second half. 5-point game. Just over 3 minutes gone by in the fourth. Game 1, best of 7. Brunson calling for a screen. Got Harris on him. Crossover. Gets inside. The floater's up and good. Tough shot from Brunson, who stumbles a bit. Again, keeping an eye on that right ankle.
Needed the screen because he wanted OG off him.
Schroeder off the bounce. Comes up short. Rebound batted out of bounds. Last touch by Brunson.
Right? You bring OG up to the floor because you're saying, I don't want Mr. Thompson. I'd rather go at Mr. Harris.
The footwork and the ball handling just exceptional. Duren goes back to chase it. Schroeder thought about a three. Gets to the elbow. Jump shot short. Duren the rebound. Back out Beasley. Beasley gets a clean look. That won't go. Towns with the rebound. Towns long three-pointer. Hart the rebound back out to Payne. Cameron Payne a three. Puts it in. Tie game. ABC, Lakers, and the Timberwolves. What a great first-round matchup. Both teams playing some great basketball down the stretch. The tip-off for Game 1 there is going to be at 8:50 Eastern Time. Well, here in New York, we still have 7:47 with suddenly a tie game.
An ill-advised shot, and Josh Hart so often in the midst of momentum busting or building plays. You need a stop, he's often the guy to get it. You need a second chance opportunity to get some momentum on your side. Josh Hart, right there for you.
And Cameron Payne, 8 points here in the fourth quarter already. Payne stays out there with Brunson, Hart, Towns, and Anunoby. Cade Cunningham in his playoff debut, 13 points, 11 assists. Tim Hardaway pulls up, two-pointer. That shot won't go. Duren another offensive rebound. Back up Cunningham. This time Hardaway gets a three. That one won't go. Anunoby, tough rebound in traffic. Rebounding numbers in this one, +2 for Detroit. Brunson the crossover. Brunson the drive, flips it up. It's good! And a foul! A circus shot from Jalen Brunson. And the Knicks take a 2-point lead. 10 straight points.
And you can see Brunson starting to get his rhythm, starting to understand that timing, that crossover, and then Duren just in a bad spot. Once you know that there's a foul, you got to do whatever you can to not give up an and one, but Brunson is feeling it.
Comes up short. That's the first miss from the free throw line by the Knicks. They were 13 of 13. But they've come back from 8 down here in the fourth quarter, still over 7 minutes remaining. Cunningham inside to Duren. Duren, bank shot, missed it. And Towns the rebound. Brunson telling Towns, clear out. He's got Harris. Brunson spins, Brunson drives. Back up top to Payne. Payne puts up a three. Bang! Cameron Payne from downtown. And the lead is 5. 11 points in the fourth quarter for Payne. Cunningham knocked loose. A lot of contact there. Cunningham thought he got bumped. It's still going to be Pistons ball with 7 to shoot.
Well, we've seen this act from Mr. Payne before. Remember the Phoenix run to the NBA Finals. He gave them monumental minutes on certain nights. He's done exactly that for the Knicks.
Chris Paul missed a game in the conference finals, and Payne started, had 29 points, 9 assists, and didn't turn it over. He's been a backup for the Knicks all season long. Always brings a spirit and a spark. Some beverage spill.
Doris, this entire fourth quarter has been nothing but the Knicks. It started with a 5-second violation. They have put them in a 24-second violation shot clock. They've put them in bad spots late in the clock. It has just been all New York Knicks, but it's not just their performance, it's the way they've raised that intensity, and the Detroit Pistons haven't figured it out.
And that's after having been outscored 36-26 in the third. You have an abysmal quarter, but you're a veteran team. You know it's a long game, and you keep playing.
Well, they're cleaning it up. Hall of Famer Bernard King, boy, did he have a playoff series against the Pistons back in the 80s. John Starks had his share. Last time these two teams played in the playoffs 33 years ago is 92. The most points the Pistons scored in that series was 89. The game has changed. Towns on the steal, ahead to Hart. Hart inside, Brunson banks it home. The Garden has erupted. 15 straight points, and the Knicks take a 7-point lead.
Just a tough spot. Great defense there by Karl Anthony Towns, and then the Villanova connection.
Playoff action tonight on ABC. Anthony Edwards and the T-Wolves in LA against the Lakers. 8:50 Eastern time tip-off for that one.
Feels like a completely different defensive effort. Cameron Payne has been absolutely a monster, and not just on the offensive end. He's just denying Cade Cunningham. Forced a 5-second violation. This simply isn't good enough if you're the Detroit Pistons. And then again, shot clock coming late. Another turnover, and this has been a huge part of the Knicks' success this year. They're third in the league points off turnovers. It's killing the Pistons.
And you see that score here in the fourth. Cameron Payne and Jalen Brunson have done it. Brunson, by the way, started 3 for 14 from the field. He's hit, after that, started 2 for 13, 8 of 10 since then. Harris knocked away by Hart. Let's go to Lisa.
Yeah, Mike, veteran Dennis Schroeder trying to settle his guys down during that last timeout, telling them, relax, just play. And J.D. Bickerstaff told his guys, we've got plenty of time, we're fine. He said, we've got to rebound the ball and run. We've got to keep running.
Duran hands off Cunningham, looking for some room. Knocked away by Towns in the steal. Towns to Hart, to Brunson, lays it up. It's a fourth quarter avalanche for the Knicks. 17 straight points. Their largest lead of the night. The turnover's really hurting the Pistons here in the fourth. It's led to 23 points overall. Hardaway short. Towns grabs another rebound. Brunson the crossover. Drives on Cunningham, scoop layup, blocked by Duran. And Anunoby picks it up, saves the ball. Hart on the drive, Hart inside, banks it home. Even when they made a good defensive play, Duran with a great block there, the Knicks still able to capitalize. The run is now 19 straight. Harris to drive, won't go, Towns the rebound. Brunson to Hart. Hart, another layup, banks it home.
You need another timeout. They are absolutely shell-shocked.
They've only got one timeout left, Doris. That's the issue. 21-0 run. They've already called a timeout during this stretch.
Beasley launches, knocks down the three. What a big bucket that is to stop the 21-0 run. A 10-point game, still 4.5 remaining. It's the longest run of the year for the Knicks, and doing it here in the fourth quarter after they trailed by 8 here in game one. now on Brunson. 6 on a 24. Brunson. And a defensive 3 seconds. One shot technical. Brunson goes to the line. That's the third one of those for the Pistons. Josh Hart is saying they've been standing in there defensively the whole game. Brunson hits that. Lead now 11. Luka Doncic, first playoff game as a Laker. Doncic and the Lakers hosting the Timberwolves on ABC. Tip off at 8:50 Eastern once again. 4:05 remaining here. Just a stunning turnaround here in the fourth quarter. Pistons were up 8. A 21-0 run by the Knicks. Brunson finds Towns. Towns inside Hart again. Another bank shot. Josh Hart with his fingerprints all over this one. Here's Cunningham, goes inside. Payne got a piece of it. Do they call a foul?
Yes.
Impossible to hear the whistle. Yes, a foul on Cameron Payne.
Well, the point guards did a lot of damage in that run you were talking about, Mike, but Karl Anthony Towns has rebounded with authority. Nice little dump-off pass here.
What I like about that play is that you get Brunson off the ball. And then the same thing that the Detroit Pistons are trying to do. They're trying to hit a big and then get 2-on-1 on that offside with the non-shooter. Josh Hart cuts the same way that Thompson's been cutting. So Detroit should be aware of that, but that 2-on-1 on the backside is hard to guard.
Cunningham hits both free throws. Cade Cunningham now 15 points, 12 assists, 6 rebounds. The lead is 11, just over 3.5 to play. Schroeder back in, looking to harass Jalen Brunson. Brunson drives on Schroeder, backs in, turns, falling away, puts it up. Short, Harris the rebound. Harris hopping up the floor. Inside, Cunningham throws it too strong, and yet another turnover. 5 turnovers here in the fourth quarter for the Pistons as we approach 3 minutes remaining. Towns wants the ball. Thompson guarding him. Towns off the bounce, drives and finishes. What an eruption here in the fourth quarter for the Knicks. Pumped away by Cameron Payne. Brunson, Payne, three-pointer. Tipped and taken by Beasley. You heard the ohs from the crowd as Tobias Harris drives in, blocking foul, counted and one. Harris with a chance for a three-point play. It's back to 11.
So straight isolation for Karl Anthony Towns at the elbow. We've talked about it. He is a prolific driver. You've got to be up to touch on him because he's a great, efficient shooter. So you've got to be up to contest. He goes right around Thompson.
Well, and one thing, Thompson's not in the stands. Yes, when you're young, you're gifted, you're athletic, you're quick, but you still got to get in the stance and be ready. He has the ability to get in his body and be low. Karl Anthony Towns should not be driving by you if you're Thompson.
Harris completes the three-point play. He had 22 in the first half. Those are his first 3 points of the second half. Cuts it to 10 with 2:34 remaining. Some full court pressure here. Payne to Hart. That's close to being an 8-second. Hart just gets it across the timeline. Towns goes right at Thompson. The one-hander bounces off the rim. Thompson the rebound. Pistons look to push. Thompson throws it away. Schroeder out of bounds. Boy, some really reckless passing from the Pistons.
19 turnovers, Mike, and that one completely unforced. It's like they've lost all their composure.
7 of those 19 here in the fourth. The Pistons had played such a poised, hard-fought game through the first 3 quarters. Again, had an 8-point lead in the fourth. Hart sees some room, drives inside, shot won't go. Well defended by Cunningham, although Hart thinks it was a foul. Here's Cunningham. And a foul called with 1:58 remaining.
Cade Cunningham, Thompson, Malik Beasley, Duren, they're finding out about the playoffs here in this moment. It's not about the first 3 quarters. It's not about anything other than how you progress over the course of a game. And the Knicks have put on a master class. First, second, third, okay. Fourth quarter, we have another level. And Detroit has not matched that.
The Pistons had a 98-90 lead with just over 9 minutes remaining here in the fourth. And then one of the great playoff runs in Knicks history, 21 straight. Cunningham misses the free throw, and the crowd delighting in this remarkable turn of events here in the fourth quarter. Cameron Payne, 11 points in the fourth quarter, sits down, gets a huge ovation. Cameron Payne, 14 points in 15 minutes. Under 2 minutes to play. 9-point game. Knicks trying to take time off the clock. Brunson sees an opening, drives inside, finds Bridges. Bridges pulls up, jumper's good. Brunson with his 8th assist to go with his 31 points. Cade Cunningham gets inside and throws it down. Cunningham thought he got pushed. 18 points for Cunningham. 9-point game. Brunson looks up at the shot clock. Thompson trying to bump in. And a turnover. Boy, it looked like a lot of contact. Jalen Brunson upset. Thompson smothering him there defensively.
Well, he's just beating him to the spot, Mike.
Yeah, that's great defense.
I was just going to say, I don't see a foul, but you can be frustrated, but he's beating him to a spot and staying in front.
Cunningham, three-pointer, banks it home. And all of a sudden, it's a 6-point game, still 1:23 remaining. Towns fouled. That's only the 4th team foul.
Well, you put yourself in a position now, be smart. You get yourself a couple of stops, and there's probably 3 or 4 possessions here where if you get a couple of stops, you can still walk them down. 6 points is nothing.
This Pistons team has showed grit and fight all season long. Ball knocked out of bounds. Still Nick Ball. Pistons want him to challenge that out of bounds.
But JB's saying, I've only got 1 timeout left.
You can't.
Can't take a chance of losing that, although it's an important possession. Thompson again guarding Brunson. Brunson drives, Thompson again, playing him physically. Brunson gets past him, goes inside, the layup, bank shot is good. 33 for Jalen Brunson, another playoff gem. And the lead back up to 8. Cunningham off the mark, rebound Hart as we're under a minute remaining. Hart spins into the front court. Towns inside, Josh Hart banks it home. 10-point lead with 43 seconds remaining. Thompson, jump shot won't go. Brunson the rebound, that's going to do it.
Mike, they didn't run anything the last couple possessions. You tried to hit a home run if you were Cade, and then not a great shot if you're Thompson there. And I know you're trying to be efficient, but you got to make sure you're getting good shots in the midst of that.
Beasley just pushed Brunson. Billy Kennedy said to Brunson, let it go. Brunson upset. After the whistle, Beasley pushed him. There's the foul, and there's just a shot. That's just playoff frustration. That's a good play on. I like the way Billy Kennedy handled that.
Oh, there's going to be more of that as this series goes on.
This is only game 1.
Yes.
Tom Thibodeau was talking about before the game. There's just something about the challenge of a playoff series. Same opponent over and over. It heightens the intensity. You get the very best of the competitive juices flowing. Brunson misses the free throw.
How about this guy, though? I mean, out of the gates, shoots it abysmally.
3 for 14 to start. 9 for 13 since.
You stay patient. You know what you're capable of.
You know, for the next 2 months, we get the very best of what the NBA has to offer in the most intense competitive atmospheres in all of basketball. The NBA playoffs are here, and it's the best time of year. Thompson drives. Anunoby with the strip. Anunoby had 4 steals and 2 blocks. And the celebration here from the Garden crowd here in the final seconds. A stunning fourth quarter comeback and a 21-0 run. And the Knicks will take game 1 with 40 points in the fourth quarter. Richard, you know this as well as anyone. Part of playoff experience is never overreact to one playoff win or one playoff loss.
Well, that's the most beautiful thing about the playoffs. You don't want to get too high. You don't want to get too low. You don't want to read the clips of how great you played, and you don't want to read the clips of how bad you've played. You just got to stay even keel because there's a lot of series left.
Jalen Brunson with a magnificent second half is with Lisa.
Jalen, it was a 21-0 run that really just changed the game. What ignited that fourth quarter run?
The defense, getting shots, running transition, just converting on their turnovers. I mean, they played hard all game, up 8, end of 3, and we just found a way to turn it on. We got to get a lot of shots the campaign, bring energy, and he was big time for us.
It was a slow start for you in this game. You finished with 34 points. Just when could you feel your game starting to turn?
Second half, took a breather in halftime and just refocused, and I just knew that I had to remain focused. That's really it.
You and I talked before the game about having to match their physicality, but what did you guys show about your physicality in this game?
Just us being smart, and just finding a way to win the game. I mean, there's a lot of plays and possessions that happen throughout a game. Just staying smart, staying composed on all of them.
Describe just the impact that OG had containing their superstar.
I mean, K's been phenomenal, and the way he's been playing out here, I mean, we really took notice, the whole league took notice. I mean, OG just playing the way he does, it was big time for us, so we got to continue to help him out.
Last, before I let you go, it looked like you may have rolled that ankle a little bit. How is it now?
I feel great.
Congrats on the win. Mike.
He has become a special playoff performer in his time here with the Knicks, and he does it again with 34 points and 8 assists as the Knicks come back from 8 down in the fourth quarter to take game 1. Now the NBA playoff first round continues tomorrow afternoon, an ABC doubleheader. The Western Conference top seed, the Thunder, host the Grizzlies, game 1 of their series. That's 1 Eastern. And we'll be in Boston for the Celtics and the Magic. Our coverage tips off at 12:30 Eastern with NBA Countdown. Opening day of the 2025 NBA playoffs, we had an overtime game. We had an historic comeback, and it's only one day. For our producer, Tim Corrigan, director Mike Schwab, our wonderful ESPN crew, for Doris, Richard, and Lisa, Mike Breen saying our NBA playoff quadruple header continues on ABC. Timberwolves and the Lakers. Good night from New York City. After the break, we go to Starkville for some Florida-Mississippi State baseball.